By the time GTA 6 arrives, it'll have been 13 years since Grand Theft Auto 5 arrived, and a lot has changed graphically. And so today, we're going to be looking at some screenshots comparing the exact same ones from Grand Theft Auto 6 recreated in Grand Theft Auto 5, but also comparing some of the marketing screenshots that Rockstar put out on their own, checking out what's similar, what's different, and a whole lot more. Let's get started. And I want to begin with this screenshot right here. This one showed off so much, from the level of detail on the NPCs to the way that cops are going to interact to all the details on their squad car, etc., even the lighting in the background. And then let's take a look at what that looks like in Grand Theft Auto 5. And you can obviously see there is so much different here in terms of just the level of detail on the NPCs, the quality of the cop car. I mean, it truly does at this point look like a 13-year-old game. And Grand Theft Auto 5 still looks amazing, but it just goes to show you how much better Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to look. Even the little things like the interiors of buildings you can see in the background, the neon signs being lit up at light, how that looks so much better. I just found that to be an amazing comparison. We've also got this next shot right here of Raul Batista, who is going to be, I think, one of the coolest characters in the game. This is one of the screenshots that they provided for him. There's so much going on there, but then this is sort of that same shot comparison in Grand Theft Auto 5. And just the little things like the guy's hair, how much better that looks, the sunglasses, how much more naturally that looks like it fits on his face. Same with the clothing. Just look at the t-shirts. Look at how the one on Raul seems to fit so much better. And then, of course, you get into the details of the level of the boats, the things in the background. It really is an incredible difference. And staying with Raul, we also get this shot right here of him on the phone. It's the little stuff. Again, look how more realistic his beard looks versus Michael DeSantis' beard. And Michael's beard looks great, but his hair and some of the little features just look so much better. For me, some of the biggest things that I'm seeing in this shot is just how naturally better the t-shirts look and clothing looks on the characters themselves. It looks like it's, copy and pasted on Michael, whereas it just looks so natural on Raul Batista. So I found that to be very interesting. If we move on to this next shot of Jason right here, he's got his arm hanging out the window with the Leonida t-shirt on, backwards hat, sort of staring off into the distance, and you can see palm trees and a sunset happening in the background. And then this is what it looks like with Trevor Phillips. And again, for me, it's the clothing and the accessories. Look how much more natural they just fit on him. Not only do you get more detail in the face as well, but you also get more details on like the arms. They just look so much more natural. The lighting in the background looks a ton better. The palm trees look certainly more realistic. So that's a like-to-like comparison shot right there. We then move on to this shot right here, which features Lucia getting out of the pool. And as I'll show you guys in a second, and I hope this is the way it looks like in game, the thing that I like to focus on here is the drink. You can see the seeds on the strawberry. You can see the little accessories inside the drink itself. And then if we flash back to what that looks like in GTA 5, look at the drink. Look how old that looks in comparison. That's one of the biggest differences right there. Like I've been mentioning in the previous screenshots, the accessories are big here. You can see how more realistic her bracelets, necklaces, earrings, and even headphones look, how much better the water looks in the background too. So that right there is a really cool comparison. Let's move on to this next shot right here of the beach. This is a hilarious screenshot because there's so much going on, not only in terms of level of detail, but also just the randomness and level of activities that are happening, from sand being stuck on people's feet to sunburns to NPCs looking at various different things. Well, we can now see sort of a recreation of that in Grand Theft Auto 5. And not only do you see an extreme level of differences in the NPCs, it seems like Rockstar in Grand Theft Auto 5 only had like a couple of different NPC body shapes and styles, but now in Grand Theft Auto 6, all of them seem to be different, which is so cool. Again, you can see the level of detail on the beach, on the sand, on the characters, and the sky in the background, the clouds even look so much better. So again, the beaches of Vice City are definitely areas I'm going to explore quite a bit once we get the game. This next shot right here of Jason and Cal is a really, really good one. And I think it is inadvertently showing us one of the activities that we're going to be able to do, essentially continuing the fishing that we got to experience in Red Dead Redemption 2. It certainly feels like that is going to be an activity and a part of, just things we get to do in GTA 6. And then this is what it looks like in Grand Theft Auto 5. And again, It's the accessories, it's the interiors of the boat. The fishing pole looks so much better in GTA 6. You can literally see the roll of fishing line where it just looks super blocky in GTA 5. So that's a great comparison right there. You can also see just how much more detail there is in the background, the boat, the water, what's on land behind it. That's a great comparison shot right there. This next screenshot right here shows us some of the drug dealers in Port Gellhorn. And some of the things I want to point out here is, again, just how good the things like tattoos look. They look almost natural and realistic on the skin. You can also see scars, and you can also see sort of stretch marks as well. There's just so much detail. And then, of course, the lighting in the background looks great. This is what that same shot looks like in Grand Theft Auto 5, and it still looks good, and the tattoos still look realistic, but they just don't look quite as realistic as what they do in Grand Theft Auto 6. And again, same thing with the hairstyles and the accessories and just the way clothing fits. Obviously a lot better in Grand Theft Auto 6, and certainly so much more detail in the background there. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect the way this was created, but either way, it's still just such an improvement all the way around in Grand Theft Auto 6. It looks amazing. Now, moving on, this is arguably one of my favorite shots that Rockstar showed off from Mount Caliga National Park. I'm like addicted to that flood gauge thing, and I really hope it shows sort of the active weather patterns that could be a thing in game, where we get areas or periods of time with heavy rain or, tropical storms or hurricanes, etc., that would cause that to go up. But either way, the water itself, as kind of gross as it is super detailed. Obviously, the trees and the vegetation in the background look amazing. The train going overhead. And then this is what that shot looks like in GTA 5. And again, it just feels like a 13-year-old game here. The trees don't look as detailed. Water isn't as detailed. The little stuff, even the clouds, don't look quite as realistic as what we're seeing in Grand Theft Auto 6. So again, these comparisons are amazing because it really goes to show you the jump that Rockstar is going to be able to have, not only because they've gotten better at making games 13 years later, but also they got new hardware, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, where they were making GTA 5 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. That's a big difference. So those screenshots that you saw in GTA 5 were recreated by a user on the GTA 6 subreddit, Noru122. I'll leave a link to his post in the description. Those were incredible. Now what I want to do is take a look at some of the screenshots that Rockstar provided for Grand Theft Auto 5 in their sort of marketing and pre-release phase, and we'll compare them to the screenshots for Grand Theft Auto 6. So I want to start with this screenshot right here. Like the other ones, we'll begin with Grand Theft Auto 6 ones. Look how much wildlife there is here. I think there's like 7 or 8 different fish species that you can see, including a gigantic sea turtle. I think this also shows off one of the activities we're going to be doing, scuba diving as well. Look how good the water looks. Look how good the underwater vegetation, the plants, the animals, etc. And then, of course, Grand Theft Auto 5, this is what it looks like. And while it still looked great for the time, you can still tell there is a miles worth of differences. The lighting underneath the water, the way the rocks, plants, and animals look. And Rockstar chose this because it was one of the best looking screenshots at the time, and it just doesn't stack up to Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, again, these screenshot comparisons aren't going to be perfect, considering the official ones that Rockstar provided for GTA 5 are obviously different for Grand Theft Auto 6. But here's another one from Mount Caliga National Park, and this is incredibly beautiful. Obviously, this is going to provide a lot of the elevation changes in the state of Leonida, or whether it's the fictional state of Georgia, Gloriana, but you can just see those beautiful red rocks and those winding roads. And if we jump over to Grand Theft Auto 5, again, the rocks and the mountains still look amazing, just not quite as detailed in the level of, crispness on the vegetation, and even the things you see in the distance. You're getting a lot more clarity on the Grand Theft Auto 6 side versus obviously what we saw in GTA 5. This was massive when this screenshot first came out. We were like, holy smokes, look at the draw distance. But obviously looking at it now, things are a little bit different. Moving on to this shot right here. Again, not the best comparison, but this is one of the shots in Grand Theft Auto 6. And the level of detail is wild, if not a little bit gross here, whether it's the sweat that you can see on the dancers and even the goosebumps as well, or the fingerprints on the pole. And if we obviously transition to Grand Theft Auto 5, this shot is what we got. So obviously you can see there's a little bit more detail there on the dancers that we're going to be able to interact with, which some of you guys might enjoy, others might not ever partake in something like this, but to each their own. Still, level of detail a whole lot better in Grand Theft Auto 6, and Last but not least, this shot right here, arguably one of my favorite shots, showing off the Leonida Keys, and then of course Vice City in the background. And the fact that you can see from the Florida Keys all the way, or I should say the Leonida Keys, all the way to Vice City is absolutely wild. That draw distance is insane. Obviously the water looks beautiful, all the little islands that are just sticking out. And then here's kind of a very similar shot in Grand Theft Auto 5. And you can kind of see this is located just off the shore of Paleto Bay, where there's a lot of other little islands like that. And the difference is astonishing. Yes, it looks beautiful, and yes, it looks really, really good, but the level of detail in the water, the level of detail in those little islands, even what you see on land with the trees and even some of the mountains and the little buildings, not even close to what we're getting in Grand Theft Auto 6. The skies, the sunsets, the lighting, it's just going to be so much better. And that's not a slight on Rockstar, it's just a comparison to the last Grand Theft Auto game and the screenshots that Rockstar provided when that game was coming out. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed sort of looking at these comparison screenshots as much as I did. If anything, it just got me that much more excited to experience Grand Theft Auto 6, because it is going to be such a step up from the last Grand Theft Auto game that we were able to play, GTA 5, all the way back in 2013. So let me know which screenshot comparison was your favorite in those comments down below. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.